Good day, this is Rick Elder. This is going to be a practice experimental video. See if I can add some nice things into Camtasia. This is a slideshow I made from a trip to Yellowknife, Northwest Territories many years ago. Get this running here. And this is our trip with our bush dog Biscuit into the Northwest Territories of Canada in 2015. This is the Canadian flag, and going on, the territorial flag of the Northwest Territories way up in Fort Smith, which is about as far into the territory as you can get without crossing back into Alberta. This is downtown Yellowknife on Canada Day. They have a nice parade. These are the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. There's our bush dog Biscuit with his blue bonnet. As we used to say, everything goes bad with a blue bonnet on it. Biscuit cut his foot on some glass in Marquette, Michigan at a gas station. We had to get it treated when we got to Winnipeg. This is Bullock's Bistro, which is a really nice place to get a fish dinner. Not cheap, but very nice in Yellowknife. The building is built out of logs that were rafted up from the town of Fort Resolution back in the 1930s. This is the Wildcat Cafe, same concept, logs rafted in. This is the Explorer Hotel where I first stayed back in Yellowknife in 1986. A view of downtown Yellowknife. The courthouse is on the right, and the YK Center to the left, which is a shopping center over here. Shoppers Drug Mart, we picked up some prescription medicine there. And I had work done on my pickup truck right here at Yellowknife Motors, which is the only service center in all of the territory for GM vehicles. This is our campsite at Fred Henny Park in Yellowknife. We stayed there for 3 weeks. It was we enjoyed ourselves so much. This is a water delivery truck in the Old Town part of Yellowknife. The entire city does not have modern running water. Some of it does, but a lot of it doesn't. And they would deliver water on these tanker trucks right here, and tanker trucks just like that pick up the sewage later on. This is the bush float plane here on the Yellowknife Bay, which is an inlet off the Great Slave Lake. This is a Canadian Coast Guard ship at anchor in Hay River, actually, called the Dumont. This is Prelude Lake, one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen on a trip. Prelude Lake is large, and there's a marina. We didn't get to go fishing, but we did hike around parts of it, though. Here I am standing on an overlook point at Prelude Lake Territorial Park. Here is Sandy cooking some braising strips at Reed Lake Territorial Park. It was one of the most perfect days we ever had on the whole trip for weather. It was in the low 70s, perfect, no humidity, light breeze. Couldn't have been a nicer day. This is another view of Reed Lake down by the beach area. And this is the Esso station in Hay River, where I got some gas. This is the Great Slave Lake off the campsite at the Territorial Park in Hay River. This is a walkway to the beach at the Territorial Park in Hay River. This is the Great Slave Lake in the distance, and I did go in there and do a little swimming. It's a bit chilly, but I got in. This is the travel trailer coming out after we left Yellowknife, crossing towards Fort McPherson. And then we go up to Fort Simpson, actually, is where we wound up. And this is just, it's a mostly dirt road, as you can see. The trailer got quite dirty. I couldn't get this picture published in the Trailer Life magazine. I wrote an article about the trip. They thought it didn't look good to show the picture being dirty. This is a barge on the Mackenzie River, which is the Canadian equivalent of the Mississippi River. This flows north to the Arctic Ocean. And you'll see on the barge there's vehicles on there, and all sorts of other equipment goes up and down the rivers in the summertime by barge. The ferry service is run by the Northwest Territorial Government. This is another view of the Mackenzie River from our campsite in Fort Providence. This is the ferry stop that took us across to Fort Simpson. We were low on gas. We couldn't make it all the way to where we were headed that day, so we stopped here and got some gas. We did the mathematics. There was no way to get to Blackstone Territorial Park, where we were going. Here's a picture at Fort Simpson Territorial Park. Some water tubs in the back of the truck, and we're parked on our site right here. I wish I'd had time to spend more time in Fort Simpson. There's some neat stuff there. This is Nahanni Butte across the river from the Blackstone Territorial Park. The river is called the Laird River, which stands for poplar in English. Here's some pelicans on the Slave River at Fort Smith. This is as far north in North America as pelicans can fly to nest. It's a place called the Rapids of the Drowned. It's very dangerous water. This is a place called the Salt Plains, which is an ancient seabed from hundreds of millions of years ago, when the oceans were higher than they are. There's a wood buffalo at Wood Buffalo National Park. A black bear. We saw several black bear on the trip. On the way home, we spent some time down by Jasper National Park, and we drove the Bow Valley Parkway by Lake Louise, which is absolutely gorgeous. This is the Bow River. The reason it's a light green is that's glacial melt in the water. It gives it that color. This is Lake Louise itself. Or excuse me, Moraine Lake. My mistake. Moraine Lake, which is just about like Lake at Banff National Park. This is the parking at Moraine Lake. Traffic is absolutely phenomenal. As you can see, traffic going into Banff National Park. The Chateau Lake Louise. This is a absolutely magnificent hotel. A nice bar inside, nice restaurant. We had a breakfast in there. This is Lake Louise. I'm sorry, I spoke too soon earlier. This is Lake Louise. This is the dining room in the chateau where we had breakfast, and it was worth it to see the view of the lake. It was expensive, but it was a once in a lifetime thing. This was returning into U.S. Customs after about 80 some days in Canada, and they're going back into the town of Sweetgrass, Montana. We took US 2 all the way home.